Issa Rae Defends DEI. I have a news story here, and let's get into it.
We're seeing a lot of rollbacks in Hollywood, despite knowing that diversity works and it makes money. How are you seeing it play out in real time in the C-suite as an executive, a creative executive?
I mean, I'm seeing it like just blatantly. People are scared and yeah, just not necessarily investing the same way that they would have before. Even executives who, are of color are also like tiptoeing like, well, I can't co-sign you because I'm gonna lose my job. Like, and that's scary to see, and sad to see because it's kind of like a bad word now, even though we all know that was. We all know that typically when we're talking about diversity, equity, inclusion, it is about giving people opportunities that would otherwise not have them, as opposed to pity hires and pity shows and the like. And it's kind of just, it's changed meanings and has become a bad word, but it hasn't affected what we do and who I create for and what our company creates for and who we prioritize. And it never will. It's just, you have to be kind of smarter about how you package it and market it, and that's what executives are also getting smarter about too, of just like, it's not a show about a Black woman, it's a show about class, and as icky as that might feel, it gets the show sold. It's, a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down.
Seen this clip, Alan? What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Look, DEI. If DEI were giving a voice to someone who, in a group that needs to be heard, that's one thing. It's saying, okay, I'm willing to listen to another story or listen to another voice. But then she goes on. But then people saw it as a pity hire, and she was right there. DEI was not about bringing out new stories from real storytellers. It was about pity hires. It was about getting someone in the room just because of the way they looked or what their gender was, when they were not qualified to be there. In order for diversity to work, you have to be qualified to be there. You have to be able to tell a story. You have to have a story worth listening to or worth telling. But what DEI did was just say, you're Black, you're hired. Congratulations. You're gay, you're hired. Congratulations. You're a woman, you're hired. Congratulations. As opposed to, what do you have to say? Most of these DEI hires don't know how to tell stories, don't know how to direct, don't know how to write. But I'll tell you this, there are plenty of diverse people with diverse backgrounds who know how to direct, who know how to write, and you refuse for some reason to hire them because they don't fall in line with you 100% politically. So it's just one of those, where people are getting the argument wrong, especially the people who are supporting DEI. You got to come to the table with the tools in hand in order to make it work.
Well, I'll just say that, there is a reason people use the term, that's a DEI blank, and it's meant as a derisive term.
Yeah,
because I think people are tired of it. That people are tired of race swaps in IP. People are tired of inauthentic storytelling. And by that, I mean, storytelling where you see a period piece from London of a certain era and it's naturally diverse, like a Benetton ad, when we know was not really historically the case. And it just takes you out of the story. We saw some examples of both good and bad when we were at CinemaCon. Yeah. We saw a teaser for Werewolf. It looks very authentic to the era,
Not diverse.
It wasn't diverse. Yeah. Doesn't take you out of it.
I'll give you another example. I'll give you an example of good. The opening of the Paramount presentation opened with this short film. Basically, it was the stars of Paramount, and they're basically on a movie set. And this whole thing was about the fact that Paramount is a real production studio. you're going to make your movie at Paramount. And it was, long story short, it was a great video. Everyone was impressed by it. It was amazing. And John M. Chu directed it. You wouldn't know who had directed that, and you wouldn't have cared. But yeah, somehow an Asian man who is actually a good director made an actual good movie.
No, it was like, first of all, it's a short film about 5 minutes starring Tom Cruise, and it was only shown at CinemaCon. They spent probably $5-10 million on it, and it looked amazing. And yeah, that was someone who's very talented making a short film to blow you away and get you excited about Paramount and what's coming in the future. And it was amazing. So yeah, I mean, she's defending it, but I think you have to look at, and the statement that the commentator makes at the very beginning of the clip, well, it's proved that it makes money. No, it's not proved that it makes money. That is a false, she is starting that on a false premise. Completely false.
No, in fact, it loses money. We've seen it over and over.
In some cases, it loses money.
Loses a lot of money.
Yeah. So, this is good. It's never enough. This proves no matter how much progress is enough, you're not progressing hard enough. Progress harder.
Yeah.
Even though when you look at movies from the 80s and the 90s that I grew up with, they were organically diverse for the era.
Yeah, remember in the 80s and 90s when black filmmakers actually made good movies?
Well, they made more authentic movies and original story.
Yeah.
And now
to their culture, to their times, they were the storytellers.
Even successful black filmmakers like, Ryan Coogler has to hang on a known IP to be able to make a TV show like The X-Files. How about just call it something else? Free yourself from the burden of all the canon of the original X-Files series and just make something new about two investigators, make them whatever color you want, and tell something new, a new story. But I think that's why people look at it. It's like, take a thing I know that I love, replace it, and make it more diverse, and that somehow means it's better. Always in almost every case, I think in every case, it's worse. It's worse. And so people associate that with quality. And now it's like it might be the best thing ever, and they don't even want to try it.